There are past relationship patterns that you replay until you get to the point that you are ready to let go of those paradigms. And then your sensitivity starts to become what it was always designed to be when you were first born: intact, flowing, and available for you, for life, and for others.
Holding our sensitivity at a new level. I feel that. I was going to say I sense that sensitivity. It's a sensing quality. When I was talking to Lee in the beginning about the rise of light, and I said, "How do you experience this?" And Lee gave an answer, and then he said, "Well, it's this rise of consciousness, and disease can speak more to it." And so now I'm feeling my way into this question because the way that I receive my sensitivity is just kind of like I know things that I don't know how I know, but I know them, but I know them. And so this sense of this rising energy, I really feel it. And what I notice is when I go to talk to many other people about it, I get looks like, what planet are you on? What have you been smoking? Tammy, are you aware of what's happening in the world? Which of course I am. And I just wonder. I mean, I've heard the Z's talk about how this will be ready for this glorious. There will be a glorious time where our sensitivity is honored here on Earth. When I try to talk to other people about this, OZs, especially something like within the next 5 years, we're going to see more evidence of this. I get a lot of looks of crazy, like you're crazy, girl.
Of course, because they are very far from what we are discussing. And it won't feel glorious, by the way. It will feel normal. It will feel inevitable. Glorious tends to be a more emotional reaction. And this is something we must also speak to. Sensitivity is not emotionality. Emotionality is very human. Emotionality is not stable. Many sensitives get overwhelmed with emotion as a signal that something is out of balance in them. But emotionality is not the power of your sensitivity. It's a trigger, it's a signal. Emotions are constantly moving. They are not grounded. So if you, as a sensitive, are constantly in an emotional relay with the emotions of the world, you are not grounded and you are not stable. We're not saying that there isn't value in becoming emotional from time to time and getting deeply into emotions. But when we speak to you about holding the width of your sensitivity, you are beyond human emotion at that point. It's not that you aren't in touch with the emotionality of others, or your own emotional signaling in your body might not show you an empathic reaction for others, but your sensitivity is strength. It is not emotionality. It is not overwhelming empathy. It is not feeling bombarded by sounds, noises, crowds. It is an auric field that you develop. It is you becoming very wide in yourself. And so it won't matter that people roll their eyes at you. And also, Tammy, you have to remember, you, like many, are here to sow the seed of your truth. And yes, there are many that might eye roll at you. And because you are human, like all of you, Lee included, you will remember the eye rollers. But you might forget the 2, 3, or 4 that during your conversation slightly lit up. They slightly recognized something. You gave a permission slip to them that something they also feel inside them is possible. So we don't want to, shall we say, set a challenging precedent for people here. We know humans are very goal-driven. And if you are a perfectionistic human, there is this idea of, I must become the most healthy sensitive I've ever been. And we would say, remove the must. Say, I will endeavor to become the most healthy sensitive I've ever been. And let the mystery of how you get there and when play out in your life. Don't hold yourself to exacting standards. You normally only do that because you're trying to get away from something you're experiencing. So when people are highly emotional, they get very frustrated because it's not stable. So this is where one aspect of the empowered sensitive is going to be looking at the difference between intuition and empathy. For your empathy and your intuition need to be in very clean relationship to each other. You cannot let empathy overlap intuition. You will get distorted intuitive information. Intuition is not emotional. Empathy is. So this is part of the wider conversation and context of what your sensitivity is. But in short, we will say Your sensitivity is auric power. It is you being in possession of your aura, and it is those people that you meet who walk into a room and you do not know why. There is an aura about them that you cannot put your finger on, but they seem somehow wide, not imposing, dominating, or domineering. That is human ego. They seem wide because they have a width that they have developed, that they are allowed to feel the world through because they have stabilized what's going on in their core as a sensitive. And for many sensitives, there are past wounds that you replay. There are past relationship patterns that you replay until you get to the point that you are ready to let go of those paradigms. And then your sensitivity starts to become what it was always designed to be when you were first born: intact, flowing, and available for you, for life, and for others, rather than compacted, wounded, stressed, or burdened. Overwhelm is a wonderful signal that things need to change. And you live on a planet that loves getting you all overwhelmed and stressed, for good reason. So, the empowered sensitive is one who understands all of this and adjusts themselves, their focus, and their ways accordingly within whatever limited time or availability they have to do that. They're not in pain about how quickly they get there, but they are in determination that they will get there.
Discover on-demand videos and docuseries, explore a full schedule of daily life classes, and become part of an incredible community. At Sounds True One, we invite you inward to find your way your way.